All talk, no trousers. The latest from our daily newsletter at podnews.net. Spotify's splashy deals with stars has made headlines, not podcasts. So says Business Insider, with scuttlebutt from inside the company's internal tumult. In December, we published a list of announced but unmade Spotify shows. Who's interested in buying Audioboom? According to This Is Money, joining Amazon and Spotify as potential purchasers of the podcast company are Sony, Acast and Liberty Global. Last podcast on the left, which announced a switch from Spotify to SiriusXM and Stitcher last year, is launching its SiriusXM radio show today. It's called Open Lines, and it invites listeners to open their minds to questions of the mysterious and the paranormal. It's tonight at 7 Eastern on SiriusXM's Faction Talk, Channel 103, a comedy and uncensored talk channel. Padverb is a new service that acts as a matchmaking tool for finding guests and hosts. It also allows listeners to follow people's appearances. Another new service, Scale Your Podcast Marketing, offers to produce graphical assets for your show's social media, transcripts, sound bites and tweets. Rob Greenlee has been announced as a speaker in Radio Days Europe in Malmö in Sweden. Podnews' editor, that's me, will also be there in an as-yet unannounced thing that presumably I'm not allowed to talk about. And host your show with Podbean. Use their podcast websites. Well, they're retiring old themes on March the 1st. You'll be switched to a new theme called Elegant at that point, if you haven't chosen a different one. And thank you to more than 600 new subscribers in February so far, including from people at Ausha, Netflix, Amazon, Claritas, Sybil, Apple, APM and Heishischer Rundfunk. If you're finding us useful, please tell your colleagues. It's a Monday, so time for some tech stuff. Is there a better, easier way to help podcasters claim their podcast on different apps? Currently, that process is a clunky method of hoping someone has access to the email address in the RSS feed and then sending them an email with some form of token. We think there might be something rather easier, so we've linked to some proposed documentation of how something might work, and feedback is very welcome. Noting a significant increase in access from iOS phones, we're now serving them our podcast in Opus audio format, saving those users bandwidth. If you're listening to this podcast on our website in Google Chrome on desktop or Android, you're listening to that Opus file as well. It's only 16 kilobits, and all iOS phones support Opus files. We've also added analytics data about which format we've served and which episode was downloaded to our analytics pages. That includes our AWS CloudFront costs, if you're interested. And related to the above, Podcast, Podcast, is a new open source podcast app for iOS. And the OPORG RSS user agent data is now updated with more scraper names and an accepts Opus flag. Tell what we've been doing today, can't you? In People News, Rishi Jaitley and Kyle Rice have been appointed as new board members at PRX. Jaitley is founding CEO of Times Bridge, an investment group, and Rice is a senior director for TechSoup, a social enterprise technology company. And in podcast news, listen to the Trojan Horse affair and think you know everything about the Midlands of England. Made in the Midlands will help you think again. Loftus Media has worked with the city of Coventry to give you a glimpse into some of the most successful Midlanders about how their home helped them succeed. And Tinks is a creator with millions of followers on TikTok and Instagram, you knew that. And It's Me Tinks is a brand new podcast signed with SiriusXM's Stitcher. She'll also be getting her own satellite radio show in March on the Stars channel and will host on SiriusXM's TikTok radio as well. And that's the latest from our newsletter. To read all the stories in full and subscribe for free, we're at podnews.net.